It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hello, basketball fans. I'm Ernie Johnson, welcoming you to 2K Sports. I'm here with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. The fans are filling the seats out in Boston, the site of our broadcast, and where the Celtics will be going up against the Dallas Mavericks. And right now for Dallas, they certainly seem to be on a mission. They've won 8 of their last 10, looking really strong. They've got to be pleased. And the Dallas Mavericks with plenty of turnover in their roster. This is the time that some teams go for the full rebuild, tear it up, start from scratch. Is that going to happen in Big D?
No, I think the Mavericks expect to compete. I just think they can pursue a couple of younger talented guys. I thought they did a good job. Injuries hurt them.
Well, you know, under the tutelage of Mark Cuban, they have a lot of pride. You know, they've been so good for so long, they find ways to win basketball games.
And thanks for joining us as we head courtside to Kevin Harlan. For that reason, I'm out.
A terrific evening look at Old Town there. The historic city of Boston is our backdrop tonight. Bringing you another edition of the NBA on 2K Sports. I'm Kevin Harlan alongside Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, and David Alders is our sideline reporter. And also joining us on the sidelines, the league's most valuable player in 2004, Kevin Garnett. KG, it is great to have you with us.
Okay, how you been, man? It's good to see you,
Waiting for you to sit right here next to us. That's what I've been waiting
for.
Thank
you for having me, man. It's always a pleasure to see you.
Can't wait to get inside your impressions of this game. It'll be a lot of fun. And, of course, Doug McDermott. To any doubters, he put them to bed as he made his acquisition look like a perfect fit in his first game out. Definitely a positive outing and boding well for things to come.
You know, I'm excited and somewhat anxious to see how this team is going to evolve since the trade was made. I mean, he is a guy that could end up being a key player for them as we get ready to hit that stretch run.
And Kevin, you've recently gotten a chance to do more TV. Your show Area 21 has been tremendous, and the critics love it. Talk about this chapter of your career.
Well, you know, it was something that I wasn't planning on, but, you know, Turner brought me a great concept, and it fit the mold of what any man cave is, and that's really what it is. But the fact that we can go in, watch games on multiple channels, see multiple games, articulate it, you know, give it from a perspective of a player, coming fresh out of this generation of players, giving understanding to this generation of players is very important because these players now are very different. Teaching these young players, still being mentors of these players, very important. And still loving this game. It's still a beautiful game. Man, the game is growing. I'm watching these kids do all types of different stuff, man. The creativity in our game now is so heightened. So, yeah, I'm having a bunch of fun, which is one thing I never forgot. The piece of advice you've always told me, man. Say, continue to enjoy what you do, and it'll show. And I'm hoping that I'm making you proud of that, Kay. I'm enjoying what I'm doing, man.
You're an incredible ambassador to all of those things. The game, the fun of life. Right. You capture a lot of the fun of life.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. I'm enjoying it, so, you know, hopefully it shows.
So let's take a look at the starters for the Dallas Mavericks. Matthews and Barnes, they're the wings. Dirk is the 4, with Noel manning the middle, and it's Smith in at the point. Now here's Barnes. A 23-point game for him in the win against Denver.
Yeah, quick foul to pick up right away here in the first quarter.
First quarter, about a minute and a half in. Picked by Horford. Irving kicks to Brown. Yes, and it's Irving picking up the assist. Kevin, you were always known as wanting to play and always wanting to practice. You were a gym rat. What did you do when a coach would ask you maybe to take a breather? Let's sit out this game. Let's rest up. Would you welcome that? Would you just say, I'll let you know when I can't go? Or how would you handle that situation?
You know what? I've always asked the coach to respect the way I get ready for games. I've always asked him to respect the way I approach the game. I've always asked the coach to respect me and my expertise of knowing my body. I'm very, very vocal. Listen, if one person needs rest and it's me, I know how to raise my hand. I know how to say I need some rest. But, you know, I'm a person who likes to push through a lot of things. I'm a person who understands rest, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, I'm a person who understands that practice makes perfect. And if I can work on something for as long as I can to make something better, because I know at the end when I need it, especially when I used to call it dial up. When I call, I need the answer.
Here's Horford. Harrison Barnes picking up that last basket. Screen by Monroe. Got freed up. Nice work off the pick.
Guys, we know Kyrie can score from anywhere on the floor, including the mid-range.
And people may not know, KG, that you're not just a broadcaster for 2K, but you're a member of the 2K community.
Have you been keeping up with the community, man?
Oh, yeah, very much so.
Man, listen, shout out to all the 2K players out there. I'm Jizzle Lord. Y'all know what it is. I'm Jizzle Lord 5. Shout out to my OBF team. Y'all know what it is. Shout out to Dex. Shout out to Bug. Shout out to everybody out there playing.
Wow.
Right. We definitely.
Wow.
It's all good. You know, I'm OBF. I'm about the team. I'm gang. You know what it is. Jizzle Lord. Y'all holler at me. Y'all know what it is, 2K. Right.
And, Kevin, there was such a whirlwind around your trade to the Celtics from the Timberwolves. What were your thoughts and emotions at that time?
You know what? Being in Minnesota at that time, it was very difficult for me. I didn't necessarily want to leave. I had a goal to bring the city a championship, and I felt like I could do that. Nothing worse than when you have to deal with the reality of change. I'm not the one for change, even though I do know in order to process or progress better, you have to embrace some change. So with the help of my friends from Chauncey Billups, Teron Lou, I sat and I thought through it with those guys who had been through the trade process and talking to me, getting me to understand my options. And once I understood all my options, then I just, it was about what was best for me and my family.
Wow, yeah, there's a lot to consider. And Hayward, no good on that one. And Kev, you had a voice in where you'd go from Minnesota. How did all that play out?
I sat with my wife, and we all kind of went through it and thought Boston was the best situation. Paul and I had great bones and great history that I don't think the world really knew. We had been knowing each other since 14, 15. I played with each other younger, and I had a chance to play with Cole, but that really didn't go through. A lot of people don't know I had a chance to play with Steve Nash also, but I wanted to play with Stoudemire, and that wasn't the case. So I decided to go to Boston. Ray and I knew each other from South Carolina. And then, the Rondo piece was a huge piece for me. I had followed the youngster in his first year and just watched his growth a little bit, even though I was in the Western Conference. And then when I got to Boston, I knew they had good pieces like Kendrick Perkins and Tony Allen. I wasn't aware of the big baby piece yet. And then I wasn't sure on the Posey part. And then all of a sudden it started to come together, Eddie House. And then all of this, and
great names.
Great names. Just all alphas, all guys able to stand up and speak for themselves and be articulate, and all different facets, and very similar facets of who we are personality-wise. And a lot of people just don't know that team there. I don't think another coach could have coached that team other than Doc Rivers.
Now here is Irving, following the missed shot by Dennis Smith. Al Horford, a player who doesn't dominate any one category as a big man, but KG he has very few weaknesses. He's fundamentally sound.
He's very effective, man. Al Horford knows what he is. He's very solid with what he does, sets great picks. He's able to create space between him and his defender. If you watch him, he's gotten better with his shot. He's gotten better with his three-point shot. He's able to shoot it at rapid style now. Being in Atlanta, being in a kind of a system where he was able to play kind of four guys, one in, and he would be more perimeter. He's really developed a perimeter shot now. It's really helped him. Now he's able to put the ball on the floor with a shot fade and go to the basket, make, other passes to guys. Really helped that whole system up there. Boston is a threat, but without Al Horford's play, his inside play, and his, able to go out and hit threes, they're not the same team without him.
Quality person, too.
Absolutely,
yes.
Man. No better locker room leader. He's one of these guys that, when you talk about men, you want to know that men can stand up and speak like men. He's one of those guys. He's one of those guys that's going to put on the table, and we are going to be in here speaking as men as he should be.
Now Hayward. Following the three-point attempt by Wesley Matthews.
We know Noel is a superb shot blocker. It may be his best attribute, Kevin.
Smith kicks to Barnes. Feeds to Noel. Shoots over Monroe. Not enough on that one as it misses.
Well, it's not the defense that caused that miss. That one's all on him.
And KG, when you were bringing those greats together like you had in Boston, the intersection of you and Doc and Paul Pierce and Ray Allen, all these guys together, everything was aligned.
But you know, you got to go through something to be able to appreciate something. And I like to think that with the joining of myself and Ray Allen and Paul Pierce going to Boston, that we all had to have a journey up until that point and go through something and feel something and have something feel left out. We always achieved when we all came together. Awards, countless all-star achievements. But then when it came to total winning and what we all do this for, we was all vacant. And that's what we all shared. And we all shared the same appetite for that, Kev. And I'm telling you, man, when we all got together, we all knew never to let each other down. And we all gave each other 100%.
What a time. And now the first timeout called here for Boston. They put up a nice win against the Bucks the last time out.
And when you protect the rim like they did in that one, it has a tremendous impact.
Well, I don't think there's any question when you're playing that strong a defense, it's going to have an effect on your opponent. And it seemed like they were getting their hands up on the majority of shots.
And a whole new group out on the floor for the Celtics. Kevin, it's been said that some guys hated to play against you. Is there someone you hated to play against for whatever reason?
No.
You enjoyed every jump?
I enjoyed every competitor because on the offensive side of the ball, I was always challenged when to use counters or what type of moves I was using. I took a lot of pride in having a variety of moves for different types of defenses. And each guy is going to bring out a different side of the offense in you. And then turning around and then being that defender and being able to guard the post player or the post or whatever the post player was or whatever. Rasheed Wallace was always a tough guard. Tim Duncan was always a tough guard. Zach Randolph was always a tough guard. Chris Webber with Dice, Karl Malone.
Great names. Kevin, when you entered the draft, no player had made the jump from high school to the NBA in 20 years. And what were your emotions when your name was called number 5 overall?
Oh, man, I remember that. It was
17 years old?
17, just turning 18 at the time. I was in like a whirlwind, to be honest. A lot of people don't know it's a lot of stuff that goes up into the draft. You know, things that I wasn't aware of. You're training twice a day. You know, you're trying to get ready for the combine. You're trying to get ready for pre-draft. You got to do workouts. This is all new to me. On top of still going to high school, trying to, you know, graduate and stuff. So I figured it out. I hustled and I bustled and I juggled a bunch of different things. But once your name is called, it's almost like the culmination. It all comes together. It's a special moment for just you and your family and your loved ones and ones around you. And when my name was called, it felt like the world had stopped and everything was going very slow.
So he gets them both.
And you know what I love, Kevin, is Marcus Smart just continues to improve. We know he's a powerful athletic guard, but he wants to keep building different aspects of his game.
Now here's Powell, currently averaging almost 6 points a game. Powell with the screen. Mejri kicks to Barea. And no good. Had a chance to take the lead. The Celtics with the lead. Kevin, growing up watching the game of basketball, who are some of your earliest influences?
My early influences in the game of basketball was Magic Johnson, obviously Michael Jordan, and then Chris Webber. Chris Webber, Malik Sealy was kind of like the younger generation of my inspiration. Yeah. St. John's was one of the destinations. Michigan was one of my college destinations. So those guys were my natural inspirations early on when I was young.
Here's Morris, following the basket by Doug McDermott. Morris passes to Rozier. Knocked loose. Out of bounds. Dallas takes possession. And looking back at last season, here's a look at the 3-point and 2-point shot attempt averages for the Celtics.
And they concentrated a lot on creating open looks from beyond the arc. Player movement, finding space on the perimeter, that was their #1 priority.
Dallas has gone 0-3 from three-point land. Nothing yet going outside. Kevin, what a lot of fans don't get to see is all the work players do behind the scenes at home, before games, after games, on off days. Can you talk a little bit about that? Getting your body ready from the end of one game to play the next game. I mean, I've seen it, but you talk about it.
Yeah, the wellness starts right after you stop playing. The minute you come off the court, you're iced. You know, you got to do progressions where right after the game, you shower. Obviously, you got to get massages. You got to get some type of wellness on your legs, just because you're running so much. People don't know that you have to lift weights. You know, when we was in Boston, we lift every other day. We had a strenuous strength program. Shout out to Bidu. Brian Dew, who's our strength coach up there, never let us get a day off. And if you didn't lift weights, then we find you as a players. Players find you. Because it's important for you to come in here and be strong. We need everybody to be as strong as they can be. So you have to lift. And then actually, you know, you practice. But after practice, you have to put time into your own personal game.
Right. So much goes into it. It's amazing. Kevin, we see some coaches get extremely emotional on the sideline. Others take a more even-keeled approach, more calm on the sideline. Which coaching style would you prefer to play for when you were in your prime? Did you want a coach who was animated, or did you want a coach that was just kind of settled on the sideline?
You know what? I like the coach that was settled on the sideline. You know, I like to think that great coaches are going to be able to coach you in practice, and then during the games, you know, it's about the product and what you put out on the floor. You know, coaches that have understanding, coaches that have vision, coaches that understand the game, understand that it's a game of runs, know that it's a game of momentum, and have plays for those momentums and those times, are coaches that I've always gravitated to and understood that
like Doc was kind of in between, wasn't he? Little bit of emotion, but that he could also have a calm demeanor on that side.
Doc was on fire. I'm sorry. There was nothing calming about Doc.
I'm trying to cover Doc's back here.
No, shout out to Doc. Doc will rip your head off if you wasn't supposed to. But you know what? You needed to play with that edge. You needed to know that if you wasn't in your spot, 1 through 15, you understood that you were supposed to be there. And it's good to play with that. I think that you don't want to be out there playing like, you know, this is no big deal. Every play is a big deal. And no play, absolutely. And you know what? That severity, and you play with that importance, and, you know, knowing that you're playing for the next guy. So, you know, that's important.
And that is a major league flush right there, my friends.
And in a tight contest like this, Greg, that might be just what they need to get the tide rolling in their direction.
It couldn't have come at a better time. With the score being as close as it is, he had to make that play.
Now, here's Curry. He's a good contributor to his team, averaging about 10.5 points a game.
And already they've staked out a noticeable advantage in terms of aggression and controlling the backboard.
Here's Tatum. 8 points his last outing. And he'll shoot free throws here. Clearly fouled on that shot that time. The whistle blowing.
And you know what? You allow a guy to get right to the rim like that. That's your only option.
Boston shooting their 4th and 5th attempts at the free throw line tonight.
And they've had really good numbers all season from the free throw line.
Gentlemen, 2 shots. Move shots.
That's good from Rozier. So he makes 1 of 2 as the second one misses. And it's the Mavericks on the break. McDermott kicks to Barea. Down low, Curry. Good, and it's Barea who picks up the assist. Curry's got it all tied up now for Dallas.
The plan of attack is obvious. Get the ball inside and go strong to the rim.
Morris with a screen on Barea. And the basket by Rozier. Rozier's got his second bucket tonight.
A physical basketball there, and in the best sense. A hard screen allows him to shake the defender and get to the bucket for the layup.
Now here's Powell. Tight defense on him. Mejri rebounded by the Celtics.
Yeah, coming off that screen, wide open, just can't convert.
And I think, Greg, that's exactly what you want. The screen was solid. The execution just fell a little bit short on the shot.
Now here's Smart. 11 points for him in that last game against Milwaukee. Kicks to Tatum. Launches a three, and the Celtics hit again from deep.
How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any individual agendas.
And the foul on Marcus Smart. That's his first foul. McDermott dishes to Curry. Stolen by Smart. To the paint. Powell with the steal. And here's Barea. Good on the three-point shot. Barea's got 5 now.
That consistency from distance, that's something J.J. Barea has worked on, and you can see the results here.
So at the end of 1 quarter of play, still a close game. Celtics lead by 2. And we'll be back with you for the start of the second quarter when we return. And Dirk Nowitzki steadily climbing the all-time scoring rankings. He talked about the remarkable journey of his long and illustrious career.
When I first got here, my first year was so tough that I didn't really know that I can make it in this league. To be named with all these names is an unbelievable honor, and it's been a crazy ride.
Dirk has proven himself through the test of time. As tough as it may have been back in his rookie year, he overcame those obstacles to become this elite NBA player destined for the Hall of Fame.
And people do talk about players being a Dirk Nowitzki type. You're right about that. And that's a type any team would like to have. One of the greatest power forwards in the NBA's history.
Well, up to this point, a closely contested game as we start the second quarter. And what do you guys think about Boston here in this one?
I'll tell you, when you take care of the backboards, good things seem to happen.
Well, I think it's been a priority to hit the glass, no doubt, and using their length and athleticism to perfection on the boards.
They've got Smart. Aaron Baines out there with Marcus Morris. Then it's Tatum, and it's Rozier in at the point. That's the 5 to begin the second quarter for the Celtics. Here's Tatum. And a big bounce off the rim, but it sinks right in. Tatum's got the first basket of the second quarter for Boston. Mavericks trail by 4. Kevin, you accomplished everything individually as a teammate. Anything that you wish you would have done, any player that you wish you would have played with, any regret in that form that lingers with you in retirement?
No, nothing lingers. Obviously, you sit back and think about, I would love to play with Cole for a year, or got to, team, at least play in the U.S.
You had a chance to. Wasn't it like a rumor one time?
Yeah, it was.
Going to the Lakers?
Well, my connection with Paul was just the opportunity when I waited. It's what it was. But,
Cole, you wouldn't have traded the Paul Pierce thing for anything?
No, I wouldn't have, because Paul and I are true brothers. The connection, and then the team, Ray, my connection with Doe and Doc and all that. So I wouldn't have given that up for anything. But if I could have played with one person, probably would have been Cole. Summertime, I say USA because that's when you get to play with each other and all that, and you get to kind of beat up on everybody else and be USA or whatever. So that would have been super fun. But it's all good. Shout to Mama, you know what it is. But I have no regrets, man. I left everything on the floor. I enjoy watching the game more than ever now, dog. I'm not even going to front. I enjoy having my popcorn, my little ritual with my boys, and we sit back and we watch the game and loving the game.
Yeah. That free throw, no good. And a new group in for the Celtics. Craig Monroe, he's checked in for Aaron Baines. Horford comes in for Morris. Gordon Hayward's checked in for Tatum. And Irving subbed in for Rozier. And he's good on the second. Kevin, we know how hard the players work, the elite players work the hardest. We know the coaches work so hard. Everyone in that coaching staff, everyone wants the game called right. Is an added referee something that would help the game in any way, do you think?
More eyes on it.
We got 3 right now.
Listen, that's a lot,
that
man.
Is a lot.
And we're yelling at those 3. Listen, more eyes on the prize, if you will, so be it. It's just about how the game is. You want referees to be consistent. You want referees to also let the guys play a little bit. You know, that's just my preference. I'm not a league official, nor do I know flow and momentum. I'm just talking from a fan perspective and watching it.
Yes.
But, you know, as a player, you find things to complain about because that's what a player does when it comes to advantage versus disadvantage. But fourth ref, I don't think it would hurt. To me, it would be about how they were calling it.
Now let's go to the sideline and catch up with our Hall of Famer, David Aldridge.
Kevin, Celtics coach Brad Stevens is known for getting the best out of his players. He said every NBA player has an elite strength. Some of them have 10 of them. And those guys are the very best in the league, right? But every one of them is here for a reason. And there are times where you can really soar with that skill. Kevin?
And that's why Stevens is already one of the best coaches in the league, David. You've talked about him for a long time, getting maximum results from every one of his players.
Gentlemen, 2 shots. Roof shots.
First one falls for him.
Now, Irving is so versatile as a scorer. Outstanding free throw shooter, too.
Brown, he's checked in for Boston. And so Irving nails both of them.
Boy, just never a good idea to give this guy too many chances up the line. He's going to cash in.
They've been looking out of sync offensively.
Yeah, their offense has ground to a standstill.
Smith missing again.
And hard work on the glass. Once again, guys, and they put a lot of effort and focus on the backboard.
The kick out to Brown, beyond the arc. Yes, and it's Irving picking up the assist. Irving's got 4 assists now tonight. Regular season grind, 82 games in the regular season. In your opinion, is that the right amount of games for teams to play, or would you like to see the schedule shortened where there's more practice in between, more days of rest, more days to recuperate?
Man, look.
You got a big smile on your face.
For the old school, Kev, you know, 82 games is how you got to come through it. This is, listen.
It's a war, isn't it?
Listen, it is. And you know what? This is the tradition of it, man. This is what it is, bro. If you don't want to go through this and go through this hall and this road of this journey, then cool. Go to another league. They got shorter games. They got other awards that you can, you know. This is the NBA. This is what it is. This is the grind of it. And ones that have come before you have done it, just like the ones that's after you is going to do it. This is what it is, bro.
Now, here is Irving. Harrison Barnes missing his last shot. Horford with a screen on Nowitzki. Irving kicks to Monroe. In the corner, it's Hayward. Back to Monroe. Shot clock at 3. And the rejection by Noel. Shot to stop the run. Goes straight through the defender for the dunk. Draws the foul. He'll go to the line. That one on Horford.
How about the strength of Smith? Just absorbs contact like a champ and finishes with confidence.
Free throw drop for Smith. Kevin, we've all seen the evolution of the perimeter style offense. Do you think it'll ever go so far that we'll see the game come back to an inside oriented offensive scheme?
I think right now that with pace being the way it is now, Kev, I don't see it necessarily going through or going back through playing through the post. Although you have to have an alternative. I think that you just can't be all three-pointers and layups. I think you have to have a constant flow of inside-outside. I think it helps to have a post player. I think having a post player or a true post player that can score and dominate the middle opens up threes and opens up ball movement.
You played during the transition, too, didn't you? From a grinded-out type of game inside to the spacing that we have now.
I did, and I'd like to say that, Doc Rivers started the small ball, and, we were very, very keen on the small ball. So I think in today's game, you got to be able to shoot the three now and be able to handle the ball and put the ball on the floor and make decisions. So it shows that the game is transforming.
Matthews, no one around him. Second shot opportunity, and sticking right with it, gets the foul with the bucket, and he'll go to the line.
Well, Kev, he might have a wiry frame, but Nerlens Noel has deceptive strength, makes the D look helpless there.
Kevin, one of the biggest moments of your career, the 2008 championship with the Boston Celtics. Talk about the camaraderie among that group of players.
Kev, I can tell right away that we had something special getting together right in September, right before the year started. We started working out together. We started sharing concepts and how we saw the game. Right away, I can tell that the appetite was there. 1 through 15 guys. It's very rare that you're able to get that many guys in that early. As soon as Danny, signed guys, we were in, we were lifting, we was just, around each other, understanding each other, playing a lot. We was playing a lot. Then, fortunately, we was able to go off to Rome that year. Rome was a good distraction for us because we had to lean on one another.
To bond a little bit.
Seriously, because, none of us spoke Italian. If we wanted to go somewhere, we was always 3-4 deep, and no one was asking and no one was telling us to be with each other. We were just naturally being with each other so much that whenever you saw us to the restaurants, 9, 10 of us, that carried over to practice. Then we got 2 teams that are very competitive. Doc's letting us be who we want to be, and he's letting us play with passion, and our practices are over the top aggressive and to the point where it's too competitive to where he has to come in and separates us and, take the balls and cut the lights out and get us out of here, to the point where he just lets us go. Now we start bringing concepts to him. He started trusting our IQs. Now we start putting a couple of things on defense, Thibodeau's in there. He's implementing stuff. When this flow is going like this, you don't know that you're going to win it all, but you're on the waves of something special, and that's how that felt.
Here's Horford, following the score by Dennis Smith. Hayward kicks to Brown. Shoots over Matthews. Basket is good, and he'll get a chance for one more at the free throw line.
Yeah, and their shooting really starting to pick up here in the second.
And KG, so great to see you. It takes me back. It really does.
A lot of people don't know, man. We got real original ties, man.
Back to the beginning.
95, man. My original man right here.
Here he was, man. You were a thrill a minute. I'll tell you that.
Man,
a thrill a minute.
Now look at us. 21 years later, dog. Man, can you believe
We're still
this?
standing.
We are. They haven't caught on yet. Don't say anything.
Shh, okay.
Keep it between us.
Okay. Kevin, of all the people you've faced, who is the toughest guy for you to score against down low? Let's pick that geography. Who is the toughest to score against down there?
Listen, I know a lot of people. I've always said Rasheed Wallace. I've always said Tim Duncan. They're probably the 2 that brought a different level of play out of me. But shout out to Cliff Robinson, man. Cliff Robinson, I don't know if people know this, but Cliff Robinson, man. Cliff Robinson was one of the better defenders in the post. He was very strong. He was very long. He didn't go for any counters. He was very disciplined. He was well prepared because he was a veteran. The refs let him get away with a lot, touching and grabbing. He knew when to be physical in some positions. He knew to do what we call work early. He would meet you at the three-point line, and he would be fighting you, and you would post up probably like a step outside the three-point line. Like, he was really good at some of his techniques and how he was able to control the post. After Cliff left the game, I watched a lot of his tape, and I took a lot of his
no kidding.
I had to, because it was so effective against me that I was able to use it against other post players on the defensive end.
I never knew that story.
Dennis Rodman was another guy I watched a lot. Akeem Olajuwon I watched a lot, because these guys were laterally very similar to my makeup. Akeem Olajuwon was long. He was able to laterally move with you. I was laterally able to move with guards and able to laterally to slide with some of the forwards and some of the more laterally gifted power forwards. And with that, able to get my feet together, being able to block shots, challenge the rim, stuff like that. Things that, if you're going to get better at something, you got to go and reach and find the great ones that did it before you and take it, and then I was able to apply it, and I did those things.
Horford gets the bucket. Kevin, coming out of high school, you were relatively mature for your age, is 17 turning 18, but do you ever regret not trying college and just seeing what that experience would have been like? I mean, it's such a long time ago, but you've had some chance probably to get some perspective on both sides of that story.
You know what, Kev, I look at it like the unknown is the unknown. Obviously, I've had friends that went to college, some of my best friends went to college, and I think I've kind of lived it through them a little bit. Listen, when you have responsibility early in life,
which you did,
which I did,
yes,
and you know, so from a mature level, things that interest me are not that interesting as you get older, especially when you have to deal with a vigorous schedule of an NBA schedule. I wasn't able to, you know, be the 17, 18-year-old to chill, have, you know, lean on the parents a little bit, be able to be at home, you know, coming home through the weekends. You know, I had a real life that I was responsible for, and I was growing something. I was building something. You know, I was trying to not just be a young player in our league, but a young businessman wanting to establish something for myself, my friends, my family. You can't do those things thinking like a normal 17, 18-year-old. You're taking pieces from grown men around you all the time. You're around people who need something all the time. At some point, you have to put all this together. You have to make it work for you, and you have to put your spin on it for how it works for you and your brand. And you have to be innovative with that. You have to be creative with that. You have to have a vision.
Wow, yeah, there's a lot to consider. And no good on the second free throw, so he goes 0 for 2 there.
And the explosive athletic nature of Smith's game, really exciting. Just a guy at the point with a ton of upside.
So it's Boston now. Kevin, when you played, we all know how intense you were, how much you cared. That, to me, was the thing that you cared so much about the product, about your team, about the game. But some people have said that maybe there was a streak of you that was mean is maybe not the right word, but you were overly aggressive. But I don't know how you could have played any differently than that.
I call it dialed in.
What?
You know, I like to think that if you're trying to accomplish something, then, you know, I only know one way to accomplish something. You go at it with everything you have.
Yes.
You go to dominate it and take it over. You don't go at something lightly.
Can't walk through the park with this game,
not at all. Not at all. And this game is full of talented elites. Night in, night out, you're playing someone that can typically go for 50 easy.
So true. And here is Irving. Harrison Barnes getting it to go from deep. Horford with the screen on Smith. Irving kicks to Monroe. Yes, and it's Irving picking up the assist. Irving's got 6 assists here tonight.
You know, rough start for him, but he seems to have turned the corner here in the second period.
And the Mavericks call time here. And as the coaches go to the clipboard to outline their strategy during the timeout, the players getting a chance to rehydrate with some Gatorade. That's key to staying fresh all the way to the final whistle.
And Kevin, it really is. And every one of these players knows it. They're all making sure to stay hydrated. It's impossible to play your A game if you're not getting enough to drink, especially towards the end of games when the physical toll of a long contest really starts to add up.
Looking at who's out there now for the Celtics. Aaron Baines, he's checked in for Monroe. Morris comes in for Al Horford. Tatum, he's checked in for Jaylen Brown. And Terry Rozier subbed in for Irving.
Well, so rewarding for a player to beat everybody to the basketball and convert that second chance bucket.
Morris passes to Tatum. Another shot. Morris, no good.
That's not the type of opportunity he fails to convert very often.
Curry kicks to McDermott. Back to Curry. Dallas moving it around. Mejri, the pass to Barea. Down low. Had a chance there to cut it to single digits, but it's off target. Back to Hayward. And it's Jason Tatum with the foul. That's his first foul. Barea with it. He's got 5. They set the pick. Pass to Curry. Puts it up from 12. Here's measuring. It's through for a second basket. He's now 2 for 6.
And they've repeatedly probed inside in the first half, guys, and it's paid off.
Here's Rozier, guarded by Curry. Hayward kicks to Tatum. Oh, a nice defensive play to disrupt the alley-oop. And here's the break. Here is Barea. Taking a look at his stats, he's averaging around 7.5 points a game. Again, the Mavericks score.
You know, the assist has to go to the screen on that play. Gave him all the room he needed to rise and fire.
Adding a lot of flavor to the mix, Kevin Garnett. Kevin, thanks for stopping by. Always a pleasure. Hope you join us again sometime.
Man, Kevin, it's always a pleasure, man. It's always great to see you, man. Anytime you need me, you holler at me, all right?
Future Hall of Famer and a terrific person, Kevin Garnett. And Doris, one of the things that really strikes me about KG, he's as smart as he is athletically gifted. What a treat to have him join us tonight.
Well, I'm in awe of his enthusiasm, and it's not just when he's talking, but when others are talking as well. There's so much life to the conversation. Everything he brought to the court for 21 years, he now brings to the booth.
Now Curry, following the miss by Marcus Morris from deep. Powell dishes to Curry. Powell with the screen, lock at 6. And here's Barea outside. Goes back up. That's in, and the Celtic lead is cut to just 7 points in the basket from Powell.
I'll tell you, Kevin, you have to love the intensity that Powell plays with on the glass, using that long body to track down those offensive boards.
They set the pick. Off the pick.
Oh! Look at that. My goodness, perhaps he should get in the dunk contest. Gordon Hayward with a masterful throwdown.
Barea, that's a 2-pointer, and it would have counted had it fallen, but it's offline. And so that brings the first half to a close. Celtics out in front, up 9. And now let's catch up with David Aldridge, who's standing by from the sideline. All right, Dave.
Thanks, Kevin. Here with head coach Brad Stevens. Coach, what did you think was the main edge you had?
Well, I thought defensively we were a lot better, and then that led to some offense. But obviously, we're playing a bunch of skilled guys, and we're able to spread the floor, and that's helpful.
You have to make them work at both ends. Thanks, Coach. Back to you, Kevin.
Thanks so much, David, and we'll step away briefly, but get you right back out here for the start of the third quarter after this break.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
The first half in the books. This is Ernie Johnson. This is Shaquille O'Neal. This is Ken Smith. Welcome back.
Ken,
as we break down the action. Gordon Hayward has been all over the floor tonight. He had 12 points, 2 assists, and 5 rebounds. Taking a look at the Celtics, Shaq, what do you think?
Well, it was an unselfish, team-oriented half of basketball. The ball never stopped moving. Their offense had a great flow to it. It prevented anyone from getting lazy out there. They're always moving, cutting, knowing where they need to pass the ball, Ernie.
Kenny, how do you think Dallas played?
To me, they looked out of sync shooting the basketball. Under 40% for the first half. Some of it was poor shot selection, but mostly it just looked like they were out of rhythm. For the second half, they need to push more for buckets in transition. Get to the foul line a little bit more. Try to get back in the flow.
And we're just about ready for the start of the third quarter. Kevin Harlan standing by. We'll see you.
And as we return, we get a look at the Boston skyline. Those drone cameras are really something. And the third quarter about ready to get underway. Gordon Hayward with another strong contribution so far in this one.
His points production thus far off the charts. It's only been 2 quarters. Just a great effort for him for the entire half.
I don't think you could ask for anything more from this guy. He has been fantastic to start this one.
course, we talk about speed and quickness being a difference maker on offense. Which players really use those attributes to lock down players defensively?
Well, I think it's hard not to look at Marcus Smart and Jay Crowder. The kind of physical attributes, meaning speed, toughness, length, but they also have the mindset necessary to look opposite some of the best players in the league and say, not on my watch. I'm going to get down in my stance and I'm going to prohibit you from getting to your strengths. It's really maybe underappreciated by everyone except coaches and fans of the game.
True, and you and I were just talking about Tony Allen.
That's a great point. I mean, Tony Allen has made his career specifically on the defensive end because, as you know, he's an opportunistic cutter, and if you leave him open, he can make an uncontested mid-range. But the reality is Tony Allen is in the NBA because he is a great defensive player.
Well, we've got a moment. Let's set the floor. Brought to you by Gatorade. All fueled up for the second half. On the floor right now for the Mavericks. Barnes at the 3 with Dirk at the 4. Smith Jr. runs the point with Matthews at his side. They're the backcourt. And it's Noel in at the 5. Here's Smith following the basket by Kyrie Irving. Shot from 12. Barnes can't get it to go.
The edge on the glass is the difference. It's allowed them to build this lead.
Now, here is Irving. He has 6. They get the rebound. Here's Monroe. He dishes it to Horford. And it's sent back by Nowitzki.
And Dirk has always been a bit underrated defensively. Superb length to contest and block shots.
There's a screen by Noel. Nowitzki kicks to Barnes. Shot clock at 5. Barnes with another miss.
I'll tell you, he hasn't been able to find the mark all night. It's a big reason they're staring at this deficit.
And there's the 8-second call as they can't get it across half court in time. Into the third we go. 2 minutes in now. They've been struggling here on offense.
Yeah, a bit of a dry spell for sure.
Noel against Monroe. And Noel kicks to Barnes. They get it back.
Don't you love how Noel just sticks with it? Never gives up on the possession, working really hard for his guys.
Irving against Smith. Brown wide open. He fires. Again, the miss by the Celtics.
And you don't want to give up that kind of look too often.
And Matthews kicks to Smith. Barnes against Hayward. 6 on the shot clock. Shoots off the screen. And he hits the jump shot. Barnes has got 13 points.
Well, smart enough to know if there's going to be congestion in there when he's attacking. Barnes gets to that in-between game.
Picked by Horford. Irving passes to Brown. Dishes to Horford. Matthews against Brown. Here's Monroe. And it's slammed in by Monroe.
I think Brown demonstrating he's got a great understanding of the game. He keeps his head moving, his eyes open so he can spot the open man.
Mavericks trail by 9. A little under 2.5 minutes off the clock now here in the third. Noel sets a screen for Barnes. Barnes with another miss.
Another rebound hauled in. They're hitting the glass with a lot of passion.
And it's Monroe finishing it off. And that's a double-double for him now. 10 points and 10 rebounds.
And Brown is a very unselfish player, always willing to whip the ball over to an open teammate.
And the Mavericks call time here. Fresh from a win against the Nuggets.
And the story of that game was their terrific rhythm on the offensive end.
Right, you could tell they were in a groove all night. They looked comfortable, they didn't rush. It was gorgeous execution.
Boston making a switch here. Smart's checked in. We've gone about 3.5 minutes into the third now. Matthews against Brown. There's a screen by Noel. The 3 from Barnes drains it from beyond the arc. Barnes has got 5 points now in the quarter.
With that deep stroke, I like Barnes' ability to switch between the 3 and 4 spots. 2 distinct things in terms of spacing on the floor and the requirements of the jobs.
Irving dishes to Smart. Matthews with the steal. Now the Mavericks moving it up. Here's Barnes. Here's Smith. And it's sent back by Irving. There's a screen by Noel. Nowitzki gets a wide open look. Offline with his three. Boston leading by 8. And Kyrie Irving, a good playmaker. But he looks to score first, wouldn't you say, Doris?
Well, I think, Kevin, you can see with his tremendous skill level, playmaking is an area where he can be even more dynamic.
And you look at Marcus Smart, a career field goal percentage in the mid-30s. And yet, Doris, he's playing starters minutes for one of the best teams in the East.
I think, Kevin, sometimes a player will force you to look beyond the box score, right? Smart has a chance to be one of those no-stat stars. The advanced measures indicate this guy is one of the top guards in the NBA.
That one is off. And at 6'4", 220, Marcus Smart with terrific strength for a combo guard, Greg.
Yeah, I mean, he can just flat out bully most guards and even hold his own against the bigs. Beyond, though, that physical stature, it's his mentality that makes him special. He's a fire breather, just the type of player the Celtics look for.
I'll tell you, the thing about Barnes, sometimes struggles to create the tight handle he continues to work on, really thrives when it's catch and shoot.
Now here's Brown, 11 points in the game. The shot's good from Irving.
You know, great work on the perimeter, finding a little bit of space, hitting the three ball, that's his game.
Nowitzki kicks to Smith, pass to Noel. Screen by Smith. Barnes outside. And they come right back with their own three-pointer. Barnes has got 10 points in just the second half. Irving against Smith. He hits Brown with the drive, and he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
Number 3 overall back in 2016. Jaylen Brown with a powerful build on the wing, guys. 6'7", 233 pounds. I think you need those perimeter defenders who combine quickness and strength, and he's got it.
Free throw good from Brown. And Doris, coming out of Cal Berkeley, the knock on Brown was his shooting touch.
You know, there was such a wide variety of opinion on him in the draft. Some felt that he was a little bit of a reach, but this guy has shown promise and earning regular minutes and having some success with that three-pointer and athleticism.
And Brown drops them both.
How exciting is Jaylen Brown as a basketball player? This guy is a skilled forward who loves showing off that ability to dunk the basketball.
Now here is Smith. He's got 9. Barnes passes to Smith over Irving. And the shot falls short this time.
And they're controlling the boards, Kevin. That's +5 in that category.
The Celtics working the ball around now. There's Brown with the 3. Boston again missing. Mavericks trail by 8. Smith dishes to Matthews. Nowitzki a screen. And Matthews kicks to Smith. Noel a screen on Irving. Here's Smith. Smith missing again.
Well, they've been playing some tough defense on him in this period, and it's starting to affect him. This guy's having trouble finding the target right now.
Now here's Smart. Brown the pass to Horford. Mavericks with the rebound. Nowitzki's got rebound number 8 now on the night. The putback, great positioning on the putback. 9 points for Nerlens Noel.
Boy, Noel running the floor so quickly, doing his absolute best to beat everyone to the bucket.
Irving dishes to Monroe. Dirk Nowitzki with the rebound. Nowitzki's got 9 rebounds now tonight. Smith with it. He's picked up by Irving. Barnes kicks to Smith. Nowitzki, the pass to Noel. 5 to shoot. Matthews dishes to Noel. Looks for Nowitzki, gets it to him. The pass to Smith. Nowitzki kicks to Smith, and it's out of bounds to the Mavericks as Dallas retains possession. And here is the shot chart as we see how things are going for Smith.
Well, they're going to have to look elsewhere for points because he has pulled a Houdini and completely disappeared from the offense in this one. Just no production from him, and nothing seems to be in rhythm for him right now. It's just not his night.
Looking at who's out there now for the Celtics. Morris comes in for Al Horford. And it's Tatum in for Jaylen Brown. Powell, the pass to Barea. He feeds it to Barnes. Dallas, no good that time either. Boston leading by 6. Tatum dishes to Smart. Oh, Morris in position. Oh, and they get in the way of the alley-oop. Not to be. Good play defensively. Right side Curry. Back to Barea. Floats one, and it's good on the layup. Barea's got 9.
I'll tell you, don't let the diminutive size fool you. This guy is not intimidated and can get his shot in the painted area.
Out to the wing. Here's Smart. Goes back up. Out to Monroe. Irving drives in. Here's Smart. Good, and the assist goes to Irving. And it's 8 points for Marcus Smart.
Well, Marcus Smart has a knack for understanding where missed shots are going to come off. Then he's got the vertical to get on the glass. Nice.
Curry, a screen on Irving. The dish to Barnes. Stolen by Smart. Outside Irving. The 3 from Morris. No good that time. Now Dallas takes it the other way. Last time they met was in Dallas.
Yeah, their last game against this squad, they won out thanks to some big contributions from the bench.
Yeah, that second unit was fantastic in the last meeting. They infused a ton of energy and, somewhat surprisingly, a lot of points production.
Here's Tatum. Harrison Barnes picking up that last basket. In the corner, Smart with it. Trains the three-pointer. 11 points in the game.
Well, Kev, it's great seeing Marcus Smart drain these perimeter jump shots. You know he's put in the time to let that offense become a natural part of his game.
Now here's Curry. He's got 6. Rebound Boston. Smart's got his 4th rebound in this one. Celtics leading by 7. And the Boston Celtics, the #1 seed in the Eastern Conference last season. Doris, the first time in 9 seasons they held that spot.
And frankly, Kevin, they were way ahead of schedule. And with new stars like Al Horford, Gordon Hayward, Kyrie Irving, they've become a championship contender.
And here is Powell. After Jason Tatum getting his shot to go from deep. Here's Barnes. Terrific design on the pick play, and he lays it in. Barnes has got 25 points in the game.
Dominating this quarter. He's been absolutely fantastic shooting the ball, and they still trail.
Now a timeout called by Boston. Of course, you've been a color analyst for both men's basketball and women's basketball. Stylistically, what's the difference, in your opinion, between the two, if anything?
Well, I think there are a number of differences. The primary one being athleticism is slowly starting to take shape and more dictate the outcome of success in women's basketball. Whereas athleticism has always been a part of dictating the outcome of games. The above-the-rim aspect of the NBA versus, for the most part, the below-the-rim aspect of the WNBA. That would be the primary difference for me.
But the fundamentals, too, sometimes stand out. The women's game, I think, really, you can see fundamentals so strongly.
You can, Kevin, and I think what helped the women's game tremendously was, especially in the WNBA, you had NBA coaches transition to roles in the WNBA, the Bill Lambiers, the Mike Thibault, so they taught that group how to be pros, how to win on that level.
Excellent point. To the middle, here's Powell, and that one clearly a foul. Gets the whistle, and 2 shots coming up.
What's amazing is in afterthought in the Rajon Rondo trade back in 2014, Dwight Powell has showed himself to be a pretty good player in Dallas. You know, they signed this athletic big man to a long-term contract to keep him around.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
That free throw, no good. And Dwight Powell, the 45th pick in the 2014 draft, and traded Doris 3 times in just the first 2 months of his rookie season.
It had to be a whirlwind, Kev, and in this day and age, does it come as any surprise when he got traded to Dallas, a friend told him about it because the friend had seen it on social media. I wouldn't call it red carpet, but he's arrived nonetheless.
And Dwight Powell played all 4 seasons at Stanford for the Cardinal, still filling out his frame.
He is, and you know, the knock on Powell was that he wasn't tough enough to battle inside at this level. But guy is a worker, basically sleeping in the gym, and with his length and athleticism, he's starting to figure it out.
And here is Powell, following Marcus Morris's 3. Powell with the screen. Curry kicks to Barea. Shot clock at 6. They set the screen. Dallas again missing.
Solid rebound there, and with the score like it is, that's an area where they can't afford to get lazy. And not quite as aggressive from outside as they were in the first half, sticking to the high percentage shots, playing smart with the lead.
The Celtics have made 9 free throws in the game, 14 attempts.
Shot, mind the legs.
And the free throw, no good. For the Mavericks, 16 consecutive years of 500 basketball or better, coming to an end last season, unfortunately for them.
Yeah, it was the beginning of a rebuild, the first time in a long time for the Mavs, and they waived some of their veterans to free up space and court time to further develop those young players. And with how competitive this organization is, you know they'll do everything they can to get back in contention to try to send Dirk out on a high note. And since halftime, they have been locked and loaded from beyond.
Yeah, there's no question about it. Knocking down triples repeatedly, the defense starting to look helpless at this point.
And so it's the Boston Celtics riding a 15-point lead at the end of the quarter. They've been putting on a clinic in the paint. Shots are falling with regularity, and they are pounding it down low. We'll return shortly. And let's listen to head coach Rick Carlisle review the game plan with his guys.
Keep playing. Keep playing. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. A lot of game left. Come on, hang in there, guys. Hang in there.
And some encouraging words from Coach Rick Carlisle, pleading with his guys to stay strong.
Yeah, he wants to keep them from getting into their heads. I mean, trust the system, play with confidence, and let everything evolve from there.
And we're rolling here again with the fourth quarter. Might not come down to the wire, but you never know. Tatum teams up with Hayward on the perimeter. Morris is out there with Aaron Baines. And it's Rozier in at the point guard position. That's the Boston 5.
Well, how about Salah Mejri, the first ever player from the NBA out of Tunisia? 7'2" shot blocker with extensive playing experience overseas.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
And the first one at the line is good. And speaking of Mejri's international experience, he was a 29-year-old rookie in 2015.
Right, Mejri is a guy, it took him a while to make his way to the NBA, but he has shown he belongs. Guy's pretty mobile for his size, a really solid rebounder, good rim runner off the pick and roll. Lot to like about him.
That's also good, so he hits both free throws. Celtics leading by 13. Rozier, the pass to Baines. Count it.
How many times have we seen a possession like that from them today? Ending with a basket, coming off a pretty pass.
Passes to Mejri. And Baines pulls it down. Baines has got 3 rebounds now in this one.
And with the success they've had rebounding the basketball, they're right where you'd expect them to be, firmly in the driver's seat. And Tatum is all about doing what's best for the team. Superb as a ball mover in terms of finding his teammates.
Curry is inside, and he's fouled on the shot. 1 free throw coming up.
If you give him an inch of space, he's going to make you pay.
Doris, it's been said that you started playing basketball in the 2nd grade. How did your love of this sport become so evident so early?
Yeah, you know, I moved to the Jersey Shore when I was 7 years old. There was a park right next door. And, you know, I'm the last of 8 kids. My family didn't have a ton of money. But, boy, all I needed was a rim and a basketball. And I could spend 6, 7, 8 hours. My mother used to call me back in from the park to have lunch or dinner. I just spent my entire childhood on the hard court next door dribbling away.
Were you naturally good at it, or did you feel like you had to work at it, or did you just feel like I got a knack for this?
No, I think, you know, obviously when you play the game from 7 years old, you pick up on a lot of the nuance, and as in anything, you have to work hard at something to be good at it. And it didn't feel like work because I love basketball.
It shows even now. From the baseline, again, Curry missing. Celtics leading by 14. And Baines kicks to Rozier. Back to Baines. Mejri with the steal. Here's Barea. The putback. Oh, and it looks like that's going to be a goaltending call. Yep, that's it. So they'll get the basket.
Just barely too late and catches it on the way down. He's already in the air there, committed, so can't fault him for going for the block.
Here's Rozier, guarded by Barea. And the basket by Rozier. Rozier's got 4 this quarter.
Well, you've got to look at this guy's shooting as one of the main reasons they've been able to build this lead.
Powell with the screen. Curry passes to Mejri. The shot, no good.
Well, it looks like he's going to get the easy 2 points, but the defense recovers just in time to affect it.
Man, you love the effort. Just getting the hand in there and knocking it out.
You love that they're making their presence felt on the defensive end. You can't afford to be careless with this team.
Al Horford, he's checked in for Morris. Dallas also making some changes. Noel's checked in for Powell, and Smith's subbed in for J.J. Barea. Hayward goes in, and Hayward at the stuff.
I'll tell you, he feels at ease taking just about any shot that becomes available. This guy, Gordon Hayward, has confidence at an all-time high.
Over to the wing. McDermott for 3. And Baines pulls it down. Boston leading by 16. Here's Rozier, and the foul called on Nerlens Noel. That's his 4th foul of the contest.
Boy, plenty of time left in the clock. He needs to keep his poise. That's his 4th foul now.
Brown, he's checked in for Tatum. Dirk Nowitzki, he's checked in for Dallas. Matthews comes in for Seth Curry. Horford with the screen on Smith. Here's Baines. Again, the miss by the Celtics.
Man, right play, wrong result on that one. Generally, you knock those down.
Yeah, that's a surprising miss, Greg. I have a feeling if they get that shot again, they'll knock it down next time.
Hayward kicks to Brown. Matthews with the steal. Smith outside. Out to the right wing. McDermott, no one around him. Yes, and it's Smith with the assist that time. Smith's got 6 assists in the game. Here's Rozier, covered by Smith. Rozier kicks to Baines. Three-pointer, Hayward, but they'll get another chance. Second chance shot, and the rebound goes to the Mavericks. Noel's got rebound number 13 with that last one. Kicks it out to Nowitzki. And that one goes out of bounds. Last touch by Matthews.
Well, he just gets ahead of himself and throws it away, right? You've got to have better focus than that.
Celtics leading by 13. Hayward dishes to Brown. Laid in with a nice touch off the glass.
Look, Kevin, when Jaylen Brown is feeling it, I think you've got to feed him because you want his confidence to grow as that skilled scorer you hope he will be.
There's a screen by Noel. Nowitzki for three, and Baines pulls it down. Baines has got his 7th rebound here tonight. Brown kicks to Hayward. Got it. Good job in the low post. Hayward's got 4 this quarter.
I admire that concentration. Gordon Hayward doesn't get rattled inside. He doesn't let the defense dictate his shot selection.
Now Smith. He kicks it to McDermott. Back to Smith. Beautiful dish, and the layup goes down.
I'll tell you, it takes fantastic vision and flawless timing to produce an assist like that.
Brown outside. Hayward on the wing. In the jam by Hayward.
There is nothing soft about Gordon Hayward at the cup. This guy's superb finishing that one.
Mavericks trail by 17. And here's Smith. Fires from deep. Smith missing again. For Boston, they've gone 7 of 10 shooting the ball since the start of the 4th quarter. Rozier the pass to Hayward. Here's Horford. Out of bounds. Dallas will take possession. Some changes for Boston. Monroe comes in for Aaron Baines, and Irving subbed in for Terry Rozier. And Dallas with a change here too. Barnes is checked in, and so it's Dallas with it. Trailing by 17. There's a screen by Noel. The shot's good from Smith.
Now, in the pick and roll game, whether as a screener or pick and pop guy, Dirk is as smart as they come.
Irving drives in, and he makes that one. And the Celtics lead by 17.
And they're beginning to just flat out fall apart defensively right now, especially on the interior.
Hayward against Barnes. Over Hayward. That one wide left.
And physically, there's no doubt they've been the stronger team. A +10 rebound advantage tells you all you need to know.
And fouled on the shot, so the bucket counts, and a chance for one more here. That sends Gordon Hayward to the free throw line. It's going to be on Nerlens Noel.
Boy, oh boy, has Gordon Hayward turned himself into a complete offensive player? His offense has grown every single year. There's no question you want the ball in this guy's hands.
One shot, find the lanes.
The free throw drops by Hayward. And Hayward has packed down the muscle. Doris, you've seen it. He's a dangerous finisher inside.
You're right, Kev. Crafty, explosive, and he's got tremendous touch. This guy can make something out of nothing.
Celtics leading by 20. Here's Irving. Offensive rebound. Hayward dishes to Monroe. Brown outside. Second shot opportunity. Hangs in midair and converts on the double clutch layup.
And this has been a great job of just getting into the middle of that defense and really scoring effectively from the paint.
They could use a big shot here to get this offense going.
Too many empty possessions. Right now, they need a basket.
The feed to Noel. Matthews against Brown. Nowitzki kicks to Matthews. Yep, it counts.
That's a really good play call. Right where Matthews wants it. He's a master of the catch-and-shoot game.
Smith against Irving. Feeds it to Horford. Over Nowitzki. And he gets the kind bounce as that one drops in for it. And 11 points for Al Horford.
You know, not necessarily what you're looking for, but still able to convert.
There's a screen by Noel. Smith against Irving. The three from Barnes. Rebounded by the Celtics.
Well, they've been better than good on the glass today, and there is a glaring discrepancy between these two teams in that area.
Irving passes to Horford. From the top of the key, and Irving gets it to go on the assist by Horford. Horford's got his 6th assist on the night.
He's been heating it up since the break, getting some excellent looks right now.
Here's Smith. Rebound by Greg Monroe. Boston's gotten off to an 0-for-2 start from downtown here in the 4th quarter. Brown outside. And it's Noel with the rebound. Noel's got 14 rebounds for him tonight. Wow. Smith dishes to Barnes. And Noel kicks to Barnes. Nowitzki a screen to the inside. And the jam by Dirk Nowitzki.
Well, this is what you want to do on the screen and roll. Barnes on time and on point with that pass.
Picked by Horford. Monroe with a screen on Smith. Irving kicks to Brown. Pass to Horford. Hayward on the wing, covered by Barnes. There's Brown with the three. That shot off the mark. Now the Mavericks take it the other way.
Well, 2 long-range bombs in the first, but that's stalled out right now.
Barnes outside. Nowitzki a screen. Goes up on the high post, and it comes off the front of the rim. Celtics leading by 22. Outside Irving. Out to Hayward. There's the three. Dirk Nowitzki with the rebound.
Not quite enough defense. That time around, just lucky he was off.
Barnes with another miss. The Celtics shooting one of the high points for them in this game at 54%. Horford with it. Hayward kicks to Monroe. Dishes it to Irving. Nice ball movement by Boston. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Brown outside. They get it again. Out to Hayward. Nowitzki against Horford. Here's Brown. The shot's good on the assist by Horford. And that's now 19 points for Jaylen Brown.
I'll tell you, you have to respect the passing skills of Al Horford. He can pick apart a defense.
Smith the pass to Noel. Barnes against Hayward. Shot off the screen. That's short off the rim.
And out of rhythm offensively, but he continues to work at it.
Well, you can see he's sputtering a bit, but he's trying to get going. I do like that he's continuing to be aggressive.
Here's Irving. The Mavericks pull it in.
Yes, and with this one winding down, it's obvious to everyone who watched it. Just a total mismatch and a true show of strength for the Celtics.
This was a very efficient offense tonight.
And they found a way to get their shots to go down. A little luck didn't hurt. A lot of their 50-50 shots fell their way.
So looking at the season total, this will be their 17th win.
Important. With this win, they split the season series at a game apiece and also avoid the sweep. And that has to be a relief.
And a great team effort tonight, helped in large part with contributions, and the nice night it ended up being for Gordon Hayward.
Boy, forget about his stats for a second, right? What impressed me most was his stamina. It seemed like he was involved in every play. And with that kind of activity, I don't know how you don't wear down.
Well, how about Harrison Barnes, a starter on the championship Warriors team in 2015, part of that amazing 73-win team in 2016, but he had a secondary role on that team, now one of the go-to guys.
And with the Warriors' pursuit of Kevin Durant, Barnes was the odd man outdoors. He did all right, though, a 4-year max deal in Dallas.
Well, what you love is he never complained about his role when he was with Golden State, and he's embraced the challenge with the Dallas Mavericks. There's a lot riding on his shoulders with this organization. They need this guy to grow into a star.
Shooting 2, gentlemen.
The first one falls. Dorian Finney-Smith's checked in for Barnes. And so Greg Monroe nails both of them.
And you look back to that Big Three era in Boston, you know, the Celtics have not been shy about aggressively trading to reshape this roster. You know, they've made a rapid rebuild that's really the envy of a lot of teams around our league.
A steady screen set on that play, and the defense disappears. Nice communication between teammates to make that play work.
Here's Tatum. Kept alive by Boston.
And they get it back again. I mean, how many rebounds offensively have they had? Everything's going right for them today.
So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up, and 2 shots coming up.
Two shots. Relax on the first.
That's good from Rozier. He hits both from the stripe. 23 seconds left in the game. Pass to Finney-Smith for 3. Gets it to go from beyond the arc.
What a solid pass by J.J. Barea. I tell you, he's not flashy, but you can count on this guy to run the offense the right way.
Here's Rozier. And so it's Boston easily grabbing this one. And the outcome of this one was never in doubt.
And boy, they really put in a supreme effort. It just felt like once they had that lead and it was comfortable, they were not going to relinquish it.
And a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David.
Thanks very much, Kyrie. Nice win tonight. What was your thought process coming into the game?
You know, I was just going out there trying to compete on every play, trying to play as much defense as possible. You know, just sticking to our game plan. We had a game plan going in, and we executed.
Got it done at both ends of the floor, Kyrie. Thanks very much. Back to you, Kevin.
David, thank you as always. And that'll do it, folks. For Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.